Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tirel Aulia. I am a Vice President Education Business Development at Sinar Mas Land, and I am honored to be your moderator for today's webinar. So I hope I will not bother you, and please enjoy this webinar. On behalf of Sinar Mas Land, I would like to warmly welcome all speakers, guests, and participants joining us today. We are delighted to have you with us for this insightful talk show, and we hope you enjoy the discussion and gain valuable perspective from our distinguished panelists. We kindly ask all distinguished guests to stay with us until the end of the event, as we will hold a door prize draw at the closing session for a chance to win 2 free passes to the Global Sustainable Development Congress 2026 event at our lovely BSDCT. Today's discussion topic will be the AI sustainability paradox, balancing innovation with environmental impact. Artificial intelligence, as you may all know, AI is rapidly reshaping industry, cities, education, healthcare, and business operations around the world. AI is helping organizations become more efficient, connected, and data-driven. However, behind this rapid innovation lies an important challenge. AI infrastructures also requires enormous computing power, energy consumption, water resource, and digital infrastructure. Today, the question is no longer whether AI should continue to grow, but because it already is. So the real challenge is, how do we ensure AI development remains sustainable, responsible, and aligned with our environmental goals? Today, join with us distinguished leaders from industry, technology, property development, and academia to discuss how innovation and sustainability can move forward hand in hand. To begin the session, I would like to invite Charlotte Coles. She is a Director of Partnership and Engagement of the Times Higher Education. Please welcome Mrs. Charlotte Coles.
Great. Thank you so much, Terrell, for that warm introduction. And hello, everybody. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing as many of you join us at the Global Sustainable Congress as possible. I'd like to say thank you as well to our headline partner, Sinar Mas Land, for their partnership and investment in this major global convening. And I hope we can make it a huge success together as a community. Maybe if we can begin, if you could share the slides that I have prepared. I'd like to walk the audience just briefly through some of the exciting opportunities we have to join us in BSD City next month. It's coming up very, very, very soon, 3 weeks on Monday. So yes, we will be there 22nd to the 25th of June over 4 days. The theme is Collective Action for a Sustainable Future. In terms of the ethos of this Congress, it's very much looking at sustainability as an economic driver, whether it's for nations, for businesses, and of course for our education sector as well. So this really is a meeting, a convening for everybody. We want to see as many stakeholders from different sectors possible, because the only way we are going to solve our sustainability challenges and look towards our opportunities is through collective action together. If we could go to the next slide. Perfect. So this just gives you a snapshot of the scale of the event that we're bringing to Jakarta in 3 weeks' time. We have 5,000 attendees represented from over 100 countries. We've got people from all across Southeast Asia, Asia Pacific, Europe, US, and even Latin America. I was speaking with a university in Colombia this week, and they're looking forward to joining us and meeting with as many potential partners and collaborators as possible in Jakarta. As I said, this is an event for all sectors, led by the higher education voice, our experts, our innovators, our research coming together to underpin how we drive sustainable development as a global community. We have a thriving conference and exhibition. So whilst we have our exhibition open throughout with nearly 150 exhibitors showcasing their projects, ideas, and innovations, we also have a conference happening focusing on all kinds of different topics, not just AI, which we'll be talking about today, but anything from quality education, sustainable business transformation, health, well-being, demography. We're really looking forward to covering the breadth of what sustainable development has to offer in terms of driving that economic growth for the rest of the world. If we go to the next slide. Great. So this just gives you an idea again of the scale of what we'll be doing at the Indonesian Convention Exhibition in BSD City. So the event is happening across 3 floors, 17 tracks of content happening. So as I said, the breadth of what we're discussing, this really is a meeting, an opportunity for everybody to get involved and meet with the right people. I think for us, it's about bringing the right decision makers and stakeholders together so that you can get value and return from investing your time and energy in joining us next month. So on the first floor, we have our 17 Congress tracks happening, covering all of those themes and topics I mentioned across the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. In the main hall, we'll have our major auditorium. We're in our opening plenary on the Monday afternoon. We'll have our ministerial delegation joining us. So the Minister for Bappenas, the Minister for Higher Education, Science and Technology will be joining, along with our UK Ambassador for Indonesia and Timor-Leste as well. We'll also have a number of exciting MOU signings, one of those from our colleagues at Sinar Mas Land, and also from Pertamina and Boeing as well, looking at the future of sustainable aviation fuel. This is a meeting as well where decisions are made, actions are taken, and I really hope it's a valuable meeting that people can take back to their home countries, their organizations, their businesses, their governments as well. On the lower ground floor, we have launched this year for the very first time our Asia Pacific Sustainable Business Summit. Now, this is looking at how we use sustainability as a driver of business strategy. So no longer thinking of sustainability as, a nice to have or something that we have to do to meet our ESG requirements. We want to think of it as a driver of your strategy, embedded across all functions of your business to make sure that we're adhering to the global goals that are set and even thinking beyond that. So what does beyond 2030 framework look like, and how can we work together to make sure that all sectors have a voice in the next iteration of the UN goals as well? If we go to the next slide. And here's just a snapshot of the agenda. It's packed. There are lots of things happening across all of those days. As I say, on the Monday, we'll be running our partner sessions, our Asia Pacific Sustainable Business Summit, and our Economic Trade and Development Summit as well. This is an invite-only summit for policy leaders and industry leaders working in governmental policy to come and join, and again, how we think about sustainability as a driver of economic development. In that afternoon, as I said, there will be the opening ceremony where we'll have our big ministerial speakers joining and welcoming from the host country. And throughout all 4 days, we'll have our exhibition open and happening so you can meet with some of our really exciting partners and collaborators on the ground. If we go to the next slide. And this is just a bit of a breakdown of the main Congress agenda. So when we started this global convening 5 years ago, in Glasgow around the COP29 conference, we thought, how do we bring together all 17 SDGs in one meaningful place? And the person to look to for that was Jeffrey Sachs. So Jeffrey Sachs devised the 6 transformations for sustainable development because all of these 17 goals and SDGs intersect with each other. And one SDG that I think is most important to us and threads throughout this Congress agenda is SDG 17, Partnerships for the Goals. The purpose of this meeting is not just to inform, but it's also to connect. How do we ensure that this meeting brings together the right people so that you can form those new collaborations and hopefully spark new ideas for the future as a result of this meeting? Next slide, please. So alongside this agenda, we have our featured tracks. So I've mentioned briefly some of these, but here are these 4 featured tracks that we have running alongside for all different sectors and industries. So I've mentioned International Trade and Economic Development Summit. This is invitation only. So if you are a minister, director general, or working in government relations within an industry, a company, this is probably the meeting for you that you will want to attend. Secondly, we have our International Green Skills Summit. So as we think to the future, we need to think about the talent that's needed to drive this sustainable development. And so we'll be having a dedicated convening meeting over 2 days to look at what is needed, what are the skills and talent policies needed, what are the education infrastructure needed to ensure that this happens and is driven forward. We also have our data lab. So as Times Higher Education, we are a data-led company. We hold the largest data sets for universities from around the world, and we track their performance against all of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. We'll also be, during the event, doing an exclusive reveal of the top universities that perform in our impact ratings. So look out for that on the Tuesday evening in the main plenary. And then finally, as I've touched on before, and maybe very relevant to Sinar Mas Land and its ecosystem partners, is our Asia Pacific Sustainable Development Summit. Sustainable Business Summit, shall I say. So convening business leaders from across the full value chain. So we have a real mix of industries from across healthcare, energy, decarbonisation, manufacturing, all these different sectors coming together to pitch how we use sustainability as a driver of your business strategy. And here's a snapshot of the speaker faculty that are joining us. We have some really brilliant high profile names from ministers, business leaders. You see one of the names on there, Tan Sri, Dr. Jeffrey Chia. He is the founder and chairman of Sunway Group, which is one of the largest conglomerates across Southeast Asia. He will be joining to talk about the role of philanthropy in driving sustainable development. So please do look out for his keynote on the Tuesday morning in the main plenary. Likewise, Sinar Mas Land will have a keynote during the opening ceremony on the Monday, and there'll be an exciting MOU signing to announce within that agenda as well. But as you see, we've got a real mix of decision leaders from across all sectors, education, government, industry, and civil society as well. So again, this is your moment to come and meet with some of these exciting stakeholders from across the world, 100 countries. And our partners, and a huge thanks to our partners that have invested and made this meeting what it can be, and what I know it will be really exciting legacy for not just for Indonesia, but for the rest of the world and our congregation as well. So we've got partners, Sinar Mas Land, again, thank you for your partnership with us on this year's Congress. We have government partners, Austrade have just signed a partnership with us, and we'll be bringing a delegation of climate scale-ups to do a showcase within that. So if there are interests for you there, please do come and meet with them and their team. They'll be showcasing in the exhibition and during a private reception on that Monday night. But as you can see, we've got many more. We've got over 100 partners joining us across this event, and we're looking forward to seeing them all there. So how can you get involved? Well, be part of the delegation. There is a QR code here. We'll send this round after as well for 50% off our industry passes. So please do take advantage of this. We are 3 weeks away, so it's getting very close now, but there are very, very few remaining exhibition opportunities. So if this is something of interest to you, please do get in touch with the team and we will see what we can make happen to showcase your organization, yourselves, and ensure that you connect with this global community in Jakarta next month. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and I hope I can see as many of you there as possible next month. Thank you.
Wow, that's very exciting, Charlotte. And I would like to say from Sinar Mas Land also, we are very honored to host you in our lovely BSD city. And I hope for all these participants in this webinar can tell their colleague, their coworkers to circle the dates, 22 to 25 of June. So don't forget. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So next, we are honored to invite Ibu Sandra Kosasi, Chief of Asset Management BSD Office and Chief of Education Business Development Sinar Mas Land to deliver her opening remarks. Please, Ibu Sandra Kosasi.
Yeah, thank you, Tyrell. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, especially distinguished speakers and panelists. respected partners and ecosystem collaborators, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited. There's about 100 plus, 120 this afternoon, yeah. So I won't take long, but I think this will be exciting to hear more from the panelists. But let me start with thanking you all on behalf of Sinar Mas Land. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the pre-event webinar for the Global Sustainable Development Congress 2026. I would also like to extend a warm welcome appreciation to Times Higher Education, our valued partner from educational institution, industry leaders, members of Sinar Mas Pillars, and the broader Sinar Mas Land ecosystem who have joined us today. Your presence reflects a shared commitment to building a more sustainable, innovative, and inclusive future. We're especially honored to be joined by a distinguished panel of speakers and thought leaders, Mrs. Charlotte Coles, Director of Partnership and Engagement at Times Higher Education, Pak Irfan Yasni, Technology Advisory and Business Sinar Mas Land Group Division Head and CEO of One Smile Services, Dr. Ari Pradana, Associate Professor of Data Science at Monash University, Indonesia, Professor Saurabh Chopra, Associate Dean of the School of Energy and Environment at City University of Hong Kong. And last but not least, Mrs. Ratu Omaya, Head of Sustainability at Excel Smart. So today's discussion serves as an important prelude to the Global Sustainable Development Congress 2026, where leaders from academia, industry, government, and civil society will come together to accelerate solutions for a more sustainable future. I'd like to cite Rachel Moriarty and Laura Frost, who recently wrote in Reuters that today's cities consume nearly 75% of the world's energy and contribute more than 70% of global CO2 emissions. This means cities are now on the front line of climate action. This is why the future of sustainability will not be determined only by policies or technologies, but by how we design, build, and operate our cities. At Sinar Mas Land, we believe sustainable development must be approached as an integrated ecosystem. Through GSDC, we have continued to develop green open spaces, green and smart building initiatives, integrated mobility systems, water-sensitive urban planning, and mixed-use environments that encourage a more connected and low-carbon lifestyle. Some concrete initiative I can share you we have undertaken. These include all of our office buildings in BSD are green building certified, and 64% of green office park consists of green open space, earning us the Green District certification from Green Mark. We received the Best ESG-focused real estate brand Indonesia 2026 award for reducing carbon emission by approximately 2,475 metric tons of CO2 through the utilization of solar panels across our townships. This is equivalent to avoiding the burning of approximately 1 million liters of gasoline, or annual carbon absorption capacity of roughly 110,000 to 120,000 mature trees. We also receive recognition for developing pedestrian-friendly infrastructure and public transportation systems, including electric buses. A centralized sewage treatment plant with capacity of 90 meter cubic per day as part of township wastewater management system. And also we convert plastic waste into road construction material for 16.2 kilometers of roads. These roads have a lifespan of up to 7 years, compared to 5 years for roads built with conventional materials. And this initiative received the Award for Change 2024 in the Circular Township category. As one of the Southeast Asia leading integrated property developers, Sinar Mas Land believes that sustainable urban development can only be achieved through strong collaboration across sectors between industries, government, and the wider community. Needless to say, sustainability is not a challenge that can be addressed alone. The scale and urgency of today's climate challenges require governments, businesses, universities, innovators, and communities to move forward together through stronger collaboration and shared action. We hope BSD City can contribute as one example of what is possible, and more importantly, inspire more cities, institutions, and industry to take bolder steps toward a more sustainable future of all. We are therefore proud to participate in the Global Sustainable Development Congress as a headline partner. And as mentioned by Ms. Charlotte Coles, this will be held on the 22 to 25 June. Please join in ICE-BSD City. And also, we are pleased to host some of the confirmed participants for a BSD City tour, where they can see firsthand how we are developing the city while creating meaningful connections and opportunities for future collaboration. Through GSDC 2026, we hope BSD City can contribute as a platform where ideas, partnership, and solution can come together to create meaningful impact not only for Indonesia, but also for the global community. So today's webinar serves as an important starting point toward the Congress in June. We hope this session will provide valuable insights, encourage meaningful discussions, and strengthen partnership among stakeholders who share the same vision for sustainable development. So, lastly, to our distinguished speakers and panelists, thank you once again for contributing your expertise and perspectives, and also encourage all of our partners to take part in the Global Sustainable Congress. And thank you once again for joining us today. I wish everyone a productive, insightful, and inspiring session ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Sandra. Okay, I think everyone is very excited to know who's our panelists in today's webinar. So let me introduce some of our distinguished panelists. So first, Mrs. Charlotte Coles, which is a Director of Partnership and Engagement times Higher Education, with more than 10 years of experience working across global higher education in both the private and public sector. Prior to joining Times Higher Education, she worked in the communication and engagement team for higher education at the British Council in London. Thank you, Charlotte. And next we have Professor Shaurat S. Chopra, Associate Dean, School of Energy and Environment, City University of Hong Kong. Professor Shaurat is an expert on the resilience of complex systems, including economic system, industrial symbiosis, and critical infrastructure system at urban and national levels. Before joining the School of Energy and Environment at the City University of Hong Kong, he worked as a postdoctoral researcher at the Institute for Environmental Science and Policy in the University of Illinois, Chicago, on the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency-funded LC Nano project, focused on the sustainable design of future transformative nano-enabled product. Thank you, Prof. Sarat. Next, we have Mr. Irfan Yasni. He is a CEO of One Smart Service, Irfan Yasni is a senior technology and business transformation leader with more than 33 years of experience across diverse ICT and digital innovation sectors. As CEO of Technology Advisory and Business at Sinar Mas Land, he leads strategic technology initiative, smart city development, and digital transformation program that drive business growth and innovation. Next, we have Dr. Arif Perdana, Associate Professor Data Science at Monash University, Indonesia. Dr. Arif diverse research illuminates the transformative role of digital technologies such as algorithmic system, automated decision making, data analytic, and blockchain in a variety of sectors, from finance to education to healthcare transformation. He has provided critical insight into the challenge of adopting digital technologies while exploring technology-driven strategies across sector. Thank you, Dr. Arif. And last but not least, we have Mrs. Ratu Omaya. She is the head of Sustainability XL Smart. She is the head of Sustainability Telkom Sejahtera, one of Indonesia leading telecommunication companies formed through the merger of XL Axiata and Smartfren. She leads the company environmental, social and governance ESG strategy and integration across business operation during this transformational phase. So I would like to say thank you to all the panelists. Thank you so much. So now let's go to the main event. Okay, to begin our discussion, let's first explore the positive side of AI and its role in enabling sustainability. While much of today's conversation around AI focus on environmental challenge, it is equally important to recognize the tremendous opportunities AI offers in accelerating sustainable development across industry and communities. Which brings us to this question. So, to my first question to Professor Shaurat, my question to you is, can we build AI systems that are both high performing and environmentally responsible? Or are these goals fundamentally in tension? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes.
Thanks for the invite. As you know, I'm a professor, and so my field of expertise is a field called industrial ecology. So in the field of industrial ecology, we're very interested in the flows of material and energy that is going to empower the industrial processes that are required. So now let's think about AI from an industrial ecology perspective. We would then have to think about all of the stages of producing AI. So that goes from having infrastructure, right? So we need to set up all of the data centers that require a lot of GPUs and the associated chips and the associated materials required for those chips and the data centers and so on. So just to give you one of the data points, I mean, there was by some estimates, there was a 400% increase in copper consumption over the next 5 to 10 years based on the deployment estimates of AI, right? So it's not just about the chips, but also about the material that we depend that is very essential for making these value-added technology upgrades. Then we have so now we have the data center. We now have to go into the use phase, right? So we now run these data centers, which require massive amounts of energy, but then also require massive amounts of water, right, to cool these data centers, right? So then that's another aspect. So that's the use phase. When you do a search, an LLM search, that's what's happening, right? So that's the use phase of the AI system. And then there's the end of life, right? So AI is going to reach end of life and they're going to produce a lot of waste. And where is that waste going to go? Most likely it's going to go where it's gone in the past, which is the global south, right? And which is going to have massive amounts of environmental impacts. So what we clearly recognize here is that there are going to be spatial and temporal disparities in environmental impacts depending on where you set up your data centers. So if you set up your data center in Dubai, where you don't have too much water, then the water sort of requirements or the level of criticality associated with water consumption for AI is much far more than a place where you have enough water. And the same logic goes for the energy consumption as well, right? So we need to be really careful where we set up our data centers, how much of an investment we make in data centers nationally and regionally, because they're going to ultimately hurt us from an environmental point of view, right? But then we all know that there's this massive upside, right? Or at least that's how we've all invested into AI, right? That there's a massive upside on the value that we will extract once the infrastructure is set up. So a good parallel to this is the energy grid, right? So when the energy grid was set up, or the steam engine set up, and when we were making the steam engine more efficient, there was this paper, a very famous paper by this person called Jevons, and he came up with this Jevons Paradox, which basically said that as we make our energy production more efficient, we will find more uses of energy. So there will be never a reduction in energy demand. It will only go up. And there's a lot of people who are saying that there's a similar case for computing as well. So as computing becomes cheaper, we will find multiple uses of compute. In this case, it might be AI. In the future, it might be a different form of AI. So we don't really know, right? So that's the world that we are in. There's uncertainty in terms of adoption of AI as well. So lastly, I would to end this point about tension, right? So there is a tension between the digital world and the physical world. Can the physical world provide the materials and so on for the growth that the digital world requires, right? And so that's one thing. The second question then becomes, if we know that the demand is going to only increase for compute and the associated data centers, right? And so then the question becomes, what kind of uses are we going to be looking at? And so the focus on the use cases, so I would say that ideally we should be looking at high value societal benefiting tasks that are done with AI tools rather than low value, high volume tasks like writing emails. I think that's not the best use of AI. So yeah, just wanted to put that out. Thanks for again having me on the panel. I'm sure you'll ask me more questions.
Yeah, wow, that's so the environmental is very important, yeah, to the AI technology, yeah, Prof. Shaurat. Yeah, I think my next question would be then, what concrete step can educator, policymaker, and industry leaders take right now to push AI toward a net positive environmental impact?
So from an industry leader point of view, right, like the industry definitely would like to invest because society sees value, right? So we're all investing through one way or the other, through our governments, or one way or the other, we're investing into AI, right? And so that's a decision that has been taken. Now the question is, can we do this better, right? So industry leaders need to think about optimizing their AI deployment, right? So right now they've been thinking about new energy sources, nuclear, especially small modular reactors. I'm sure you've all have heard of, has been in fashion, given that there's a demand for by these data centers. So thinking about the supply chain of the data centers and how can we make them further optimal, How big do these centers need to be? Can we plan them out? Can we make them smaller in the beginning and then scale them with growth? Is there economics there? I think those are the kinds of questions that industry leaders really need to think about. So it's not just about compute as their metric or how fast they can compute, but it's also the environmental impacts associated with that compute that they are providing. And so from the policy perspective, then we basically need the constraints. So as I just explained to you, that there's the supply chains of AI have to be a concern for the industrial leaders. So in that case, the policy sector needs to come up with these constraints or for the industrial sectors to make the right decision, and not take the easier, more polluting path. And then finally, when it comes to the educators, I think there's a big opportunity for us. This is a new disruptive technology. We keep having a lot of these disruptive technologies in the past, 20 to 30 years. But I think this is a massive one, similar to, say, when we had people, there was a massive need for reskilling and upskilling of the workforce. And I think that's, again, our role as educators. We need to not just think about the future generation, but the current generation as well, when we are thinking about educating them on AI and helping them have the knowledge to then change how AI is used by both themselves as well as the ecosystem that they live in.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Sarat. I think now we are controlled by AI in this life. I think as AI continue to evolve at an unprecedented speed, organizations are increasingly challenged to balance innovation, competitiveness, and growth with environmental responsibility and social impact. This leads us to a deeper reflection on the trade-off surrounding AI development, particularly where innovation ambition may begin to conflict with ecological, social, and institutional sustainable goals. Okay, thank you, Professor Shaurat, for your answer. So my next question is to Dr. Arif Perdana. Doctor, my question is to you is where do you see the greatest tension between accelerating AI innovation and maintaining ecological, social, and institutional sustainability?
Okay, thank you, Pak Tira, for having me in this webinar. So I think sustainability is not just like an environmental challenge, but also governance challenge, right? So we see that many people talk about this sustainability from the technical ones, but also I would say that it's not just the technical efficiency, but also governance. So yeah, as Prof. Chopra said, that AI is often presented with about the technical things, right? But you see that something that happens in the cloud, but also the cloud is not weightless, right? So it sits on land and it uses water, it draws electricity, it depends on chips, data centers, supply chains, also local communities. So here, sustainability cannot be solved only inside the model, but also it has to be governed across the whole system. And here we see the tension, as Pak Tyrell mentioned previously, between the speed and also the consequences. So organizations want to innovate quickly, scale quickly, and also automate quickly, but the ecological systems and also public infrastructure, regulations, and also human capability, they don't adapt at the same speed. And that mismatch is where the real tension and also the real sustainability risk occur. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree also with you, Dr. Arif. Yeah, the speed, yeah, in terms of the accepting the AI itself. Okay, so then my next question to you: have you seen concrete examples where digital efficiency end up creating new forms of consumption, dependency, or pressure on infrastructure and the environment?
Yes. So this is aligned with what Prof. Chopra mentioned about the Jevons effect, right? So I would call this as the rebound effect. So when AI becomes cheaper and faster, so people don't necessarily use less of it. So they use more. Okay. So tasks that previously didn't require AI, for example, suddenly become AI assisted, right? And then organizations add AI features everywhere. So users run prompts for minor tasks, right? For small things, they use AI, and also firms automate processes that were previously not worth automating. They automate it. So efficiency per query may improve, all right? So, but the total consumption may still rise. So that's the paradox actually. Efficiency can reduce friction, but the reduced friction can also accelerate the demand. Yeah.
Okay. So I think I would say that as AI technologies continue to expand across industry and everyday life, the conversation naturally shift towards the infrastructure powering this digital transformation, particularly the need for sustainable and energy efficient system. This brings us to another important dimension of the discussion, the role of green infrastructure and sustainable data centers in enabling the future of AI. So then my next question is to Mr. Irfan Yasni. Okay, Mr. Irfan Yasni, my question to you is, what does a truly sustainable AI ecosystem looks like?
Okay, if you're talking about the sustainable AI, means that the AI implementation has to think about the sustainability as well. As you mentioned earlier, as the other panelists mentioned as well, that the bringing the AI into your life it can be paradox as well, because the side effect of the bringing everything into the AI, of course, will give another problems like your environmental problem, because AI needs a compute power need a space need a cooling system need a water, everything. So at the end, so the energy AI can give a benefit to you, but also can give another environmental problem as well. So the synergy AI means that you have to do something like when you build something, you have to build AI in the ethics manner and in the responsible manner. Means that you cannot just do simply AI everything, but you have to really specifically build your AI model, your AI use cases for those that can bring you benefit, especially related to your environmental and sustainability as well.
Okay, okay, thank you, Mr. Irfan. I think my next question to you is, since we are in the property industry, Mr. Irfan, my next question to you is, what role do property developers and smart cities play in supporting AI infrastructure?
Okay, for the smart city, basically back again to the sustainability. We bring some use cases in BSC City, especially for AI, in order for us to help the citizens, help the nation to reduce the emission, reduce the energy by implementing a lot of the AI use cases. Like for example, in BST we have a smart city with some use cases like the how we control our flood, how we control our wastewater, and then for the traffic as well, how we do the holistic traffic management. Because by doing that, of course, we expect that we can reduce the emission, reduce the carbon, and as well as we do the smart building as well. In the smart building, whatever we do, basically at the end, it also will reduce the carbon emission as well, reduce the power consumption, uh, and as mentioned by Bu Sandra earlier, in BSD, whatever we do, whatever we do towards the ESG is always come back to the environmental. Yeah, like all most of the buildings already green certified building here. The way we design our AI within BSC City also always think about the ESG. Always make prioritize on those equipment which is energy efficient as well. And then we don't just do everything AI. When we create the AI use cases to help BSC, to help the nation, to help the citizen, basically everything needs to be think of carefully.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Irfan. I think I know that you are highly involved in transforming BSD city to a smart city. Yeah? So thank you to lending your expert in this webinar. So then my next question is to Mrs. Ratu Omaya. Should ESG reporting include AI related environmental impact?
Yes, thank you so much, Bu Sandra Kosasi and Pak Tirel, for having me today.
Thank
So
you.
the answer is yes. ESG reporting should gradually include AI-related environmental impact, especially as AI adoption continues to grow rapidly across industries, including us in Excel Smart. Because for reporting, transparency is the key, and the transparency is also essential for responsible innovation. So as mentioned earlier by Professor Shorat, many people currently experience AI only as a digital interface, but behind it there is a real physical infrastructure like data centers, electricity consumption, cooling system, network traffic, and hardware, which becomes e-waste. So if ESG reporting aims to measure material environmental impact, then AI-related infrastructure and resource consumption will also eventually become part of the reporting or the conversation. And from us in telecommunication industry, we see that the increasing of digital demand always comes with the increasing infrastructure, like more data processing, more connectivity, more energy consumption, and again, more electronic waste. So at the same time, we also capture in reporting right now that AI significantly improve efficiency from smarter infrastructure planning to operational optimization. So what we did currently is capturing on the efficiency part, but maybe gradually in the future to also capture from the consumption wise.
Okay, that's interesting, Ibu Maya. So then the interesting question is, should environmental impact reporting become a mandatory part of AI development and deployment? What do you think, Bu?
Currently, what we are facing in Indonesia, the reporting standard for sustainability is only on monitoring level, which is all the GSG emission from E, S, and also governance we capture as a monitoring level. But I think, as I said before, it should be like gradually more related to AI as part of the sustainability report, because while AI-specific environmental disclosure is not yet explicitly required in most reporting standard nowadays, but the impacts related to AI infrastructure are already indirectly connected to several ESG disclosure area. Like maybe in the next level, we should also capturing the data center consumption, electricity consumption, the water that they use on the AI, and also capturing the hardware plus the electronic waste, because I think we all agree every infrastructure coming forward and innovations also follows by the waste after the project is done. So I believe sustainability reporting standard will continue evolving alongside technological development. And we see also that AI not only as a technology opportunity, but also as part of responsible digital transformation that should be alongside with the reporting.
Okay, thank you, Bu. I think my view is Southeast Asia is becoming one of the world's fastest growing digital economies, I believe. This creating significant opportunities for sustainability AI development. This growing momentum is also one of the reasons why the Global Sustainable Development Congress 2026 is being held here in Indonesia, mainly in our lovely BSD city. So, my next question is to you, Miss Charlotte Coles. So, how do we define the AI sustainability paradox? And is it something we can actually resolve?
Yeah, thank you. I think from my perspective, the paradox is about maximizing value and minimizing risk. So, how do we ensure AI is a public good rather than a tool or asset that's reserved for a small elite margin of society? I'm actually joining a meeting next week in the US where we will be talking about, how do we scale AI as public infrastructure, which in itself raises challenges and questions because when we scale that, we also have to think about how do we manage the environmental costs on the planet, but also on humanity. I think, as some of my fellow panelists have mentioned or raised previously, AI is not just a technological opportunity, but it's also a social justice problem. We have a risk, much like the digital divide does, of exacerbating some of the margins of society, particularly with the evolution of data centers as well. So that is something that I would like to flag. If I can focus in my lens of working with a lot of the higher education sector, I think the sustainability paradox is especially sharp because universities themselves sit at that intersection of knowledge creation, public responsibility, technological adoption, and climate commitments. And so, as these custodians of knowledge, they should be using their resources to teach and empower learners. So, I would love to see more conversations at the Congress and in wider society about how we build AI literacy into our learners, not just our youth coming into the higher education sector, but thinking about back to basic education and into the workplace. So current employers, how do we embed responsible, sustainable AI use across our societies? So that is something that I would definitely like to see more of. And I'd like to see the education sector, continue to promote independent and critical thinking. Not all queries need to be run through AI. So when we think about that responsible use, I would like them to embed that across all courses, across basic, further, and higher education. I think I saw that it's one query takes the energy to power a light bulb for 2 minutes. And so think about how much energy we could save. So I think my closing would be don't just teach the world how to use AI, but teach the world how to use AI responsibly, ethically, and sustainably.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Charlotte. Yeah, we need to how to know the border, to using AI and not to use. Okay, my next question to you is, what concrete step can educators, policymakers, and industry leaders take right now to push AI toward a net positive environmental impact?
Yeah, I think so. I think the challenge and opportunity around that lies with governance. So how do we communicate or understand what AI is really worth the environmental cost and who decides that? How do we measure impact honestly and transparently? I think a lot of current AI companies, the monitoring and evaluation of its impact is uneven at the moment. So we need to, governments, policymakers need to review that. I think we need to build more incentives for efficient systems. So particularly data centers, how do we ensure more data centers are run on renewable energy is something that I would ask to our policymakers and our industry leaders. I think breaking it down, looking at educators, as I've said, I think teaching more around AI environmental literacy, so putting it into all courses. For policymakers, I would mandate environmental transparency for all AI companies and, as I said, incentivize renewable powered data centers. For industry, I would like them to educate their employees again on the responsible use of AI and enable policies within the workplace that promote impactful AI rather than just using it for the sake of it because it's a fancy new tool that we can use to speed up some of our work processes. So those are the main things I would like to see broken down by sector.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Charlotte. Okay, now I think it's almost close to our session, yeah. But now I'm going toward asking our audience. So if someone of you already sent the question, I think I saw here one from Fights Hutzaifa. And the question is for Professor Saurat. Professor Saurat emphasized that we need to be careful about where and how AI infrastructure is built because of its environmental impact. But at the same time, BSDCT is pushing toward becoming a fully AI powered smart city. Isn't there a contradiction here? How can BSD guarantee that this AI expansion will truly be sustainable rather than just another form of greenwashing? Professor Saurat?
I think that's a great question. I think this is for all of us working with AI, on AI, using AI. This is a responsibility that we all have. Like, I think it's very easy to sort of pass the buck on and say, like, oh, it's somebody else's problem. I think we all have to be responsible. How we deploy, we have to be cognizant, we have to reflect on them, these decisions. That's all I can say right now. I think everybody is going through this process. And so, yeah, maybe Arif or somebody else would probably also have like a point of view here.
Is there anyone that wants to answer this also? No?
Hello.
Irfan, maybe?
I think since this one is related to the BSC city,
Yeah.
I'd like to highlight that which is true that the question is related to the paradox of the AI, right? Especially in BSC city. But can we just resolve or answer or address this paradox within BSC city? The answer is not completely, but yes, it's true that it can be managed and significantly reduced. How do we do that? Basically, we are as I said earlier, we are shifting from the AI everything, AI at all costs, but toward the responsible AI development. How we do it in BSCC? In BSCC, basically, as I explained earlier, that in BSDCT, whatever we do, we don't just do AI everything. We select the use case for the AI only for those AI which can bring the benefit towards the sustainability and the benefit for the whole citizen, for the nation, to the developer as well. And then whatever the technology that we deploy to support the AI is basically we always prioritize the energy efficient equipment. Yeah, and then don't forget we always embed our ESG within our anything digital transformation as much as possible. Any digital transformation activity that we are doing in BSC City. I think that's all the update for me.
Yeah, that's right, Pak Irfan. I think I also agree with you. Yeah, I think we in Sinar Mas Land, BSDCT, will always put how can we impact life in our resident. I think that's one of also the important things about this question. Okay, I think there's many questions here. Yeah, but I only gonna take 2 questions because our time. So this one is for Professor Chopra from Aida Aulia. Professor Chopra, you have many fans here in Indonesia. Okay. How
Yeah, no, I see
fast?
this question is. Yes, I saw the question. So it's about the AI waste. Just to give you a perspective,
Yeah.
so if we start from now, right, you can imagine like a 20-year runtime or use case or like lifetime of your data center, right, at a uh, conservative number. So you can say like, that's the time frame that you have when there'll be an avalanche of waste arriving in Southeast Asia. But before that, we will have battery waste. So let's not, because we have the EVs already in place. The solar panels will come before that. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that this is only a AI specific problem. This is a problem with how we deal with technology and infrastructure. So yeah, and then that's why we're talking about it in the Sustainable Development Congress, right? So yeah, this is not one sort of AI specific issue. This is an issue that we need to deal with, keeping a lot of these transitions in mind.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Chopra. I think my last question, I'm sorry, this is our last question, and it's for Pak Irfan. Pak Irfan, there's a question here for you. Can we build AI systems that are both high performing and environmentally responsible? Or are these goals fundamentally in tension?
Okay, high performing and environmentally responsible. It's not fundamentally incompatible, but it's not automatically aligned either, right? So the future depends on whether the ecosystem prioritizes about the algorithm itself, about the efficient algorithm, about the cleaner energy, about the responsible deployment, about the hardware itself, the longevity of the hardware. But again, the challenge is not on those technology, but it's more on the governance and the engineering discipline, which is something that unavoidable, not avoidable law in the future, law of the nature. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Pak Irfan. Okay, I believe we are closing our event soon. So I would like to wrap up this webinar in giving you guys a question, all of you. I think start from Charlotte, yeah. So for all the panelists in here, in one sentence, what is your perspective on how AI can contribute to a more sustainable future today?
Great question. How can AI contribute to a more sustainable future today? I would say that with any technological advancements with AI, we must remember that humans should remain at the center. If we see what's happening in the world, we see that AI hasn't solved our political barriers to climate action, and so we still need humans for AI to work effectively and efficiently.
Okay, next, Professor Chopra, do you want to give your take on this?
AI, if used correctly, can transform how we tackle difficult problems. That's all I can say.
Okay, great. And Pak Irfan?
Okay, AI is make everything is easier, yeah, and then helping us human to actually if we can use it in more proper way, it can help the human to solve more complex environmental problem faster compared with without AI.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Arif, do you have a take on this?
So I will look at from the governance perspective. So sustainable AI is not about stopping innovation, but about governing it so that it can strengthen ecological resilience, institutional accountability, and also human judgment rather than weakening them. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And last but not least, Ibu Maya, your take?
Okay, so actually, maybe from the people side, we need more future talent that not only understand in technology, but both for sustainability, because the idea is not only how to build AI for efficiency, but also how to build it responsibly.
All right, great. So I think now we are coming to the end of this webinar. So I think now I would like to say thank you once again to our all distinguished panelists and participants. Today's discussion remind us that the future is not about choosing between innovation or sustainability. We also look forward to welcoming all of you to the Global Sustainable Development Congress 2026, taking place on 22 to 25 June 2026 in BSD City at ICE. So as participant of today's session, you are also eligible to receive a special 50% discount on the event pass. So thank you. Before we conclude today's session, on behalf of Sinar Mas Land, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to all the speakers, partner, and participant for joining us today. We appreciate your time joining us. So we hope today's discussion inspires stronger collaboration between industry, academia, technology leaders, and policymakers in building a more sustainable digital future. We also hope the insight shared throughout this webinar will encourage meaningful action and innovation toward sustainability and responsible digital transformation. Thank you once again for your participation and enthusiasm. We look forward to welcoming you all at the Green Sustainable Development Congress 2026 in BSD City. Have a wonderful day ahead. Stay healthy. Have a great weekend. And see you at the Global Sustainable Development Congress 2026. Thank you so much.